Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Nastasia, and today I am super excited for this video. One, because there was a request, if I can speak today, and two, because I just love this topic in general. But today we are talking about prayer and kind of the importance of it, and specifically how I keep up with my prayer life, or some of the ways that it can be hard to pray, or if you don't really know how or anything, it can be like a complicated thing on it. Like, it isn't complicated, but we can complicate it in our heads, you know what I mean? So I just want to talk about that today. But before I get started, if you end up liking this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And please subscribe so that you can see my videos every week if you enjoy them. And yeah, so let's get started. If you are new to my channel, like I said, I'm Nastasia and I am a Christian. I am so passionate about my faith and loving Jesus, and I like to make a lot of videos about it. Something that is so important to my faith is praying constantly and having a strong prayer life. But I know it took me a while to kind of get my niche in it, if that makes sense, or how I like to do it versus how other people like to pray. And so, a little background, growing up, I was raised Christian, so ever since I was really little, my family was always Christian, and we always went to church, and my mom instilled in me very early the importance of praying. That kind of made me wonder if there was only one way to pray, and if I was doing it right. And I'm also a perfectionist, and so a lot of times it can be really confusing, oh my goodness, can I, or I'm hard on myself, oh my goodness, can I ask God for this, because I'm, I sin so much, all that stuff, and maybe that's just me and my mindset, but I tend to feel more guilty than I do I can talk to my Father in heaven and stuff like that. So what I grew up feeling was that I had to have a structured prayer. I had to remember all the things, and something my church, I remember growing up, taught me was the 5-finger thing, which isn't a bad concept. For me, I just took it badly. So it was you start with your pinky, and you're thankful for your pinky, and so you tell God all the things you're thankful for. And then the next is your forefinger, and it's, you pray for your relationships, and the middle finger is your bad finger, so you ask him for forgiveness of your sins. And then your last two are you put together, and it's your bucket of what you want and stuff like that. And what I remember them telling me was if you fall asleep during your prayer, at least you got your thankfulness done first, and then your relationships, and what you're sorry for before you got to your wants. So it's really not a big deal if you miss them. And I was just so confused because I was okay, so I have to do this structure, or else God won't hear from me, or God will be mad at me. And so it's okay, so if something's going bad in my life and I just really need to talk to God, I have to thank him first, or else he won't hear me, and he'll be nah, I'm not helping you until you thank me some more. That's literally what I thought. And I was just oh man, God is so good, and I'm so not, and I don't even know how to pray. Am I even allowed to ask him for things? Am I even allowed to talk to him about what's hurting me? Because it's not fair that I got in my head so much. So I don't know if that's where you're at, but growing up, that's how I was. I had such a structured prayer, and I even remember being I have to tell God I love him so many times, and it was awful, and it was so legalistic, and it was just in my own head. Everything I just said, no, that is not how your prayer life has to be at all. I see prayer as not a have to, but a want to. Yes, okay, let me explain. Yes, as Christians, we should pray constantly, but it's not because you won't love Jesus if you don't. It's because it is such a privilege to get to talk to the God of the universe, and the one who saved you from sin. That's incredible. Prayer is literally just a communication between you and God. It's like a telephone. You get to talk to him about whatever you want, and you don't have to have a specific structure. With that being said, though, I would suggest before asking him for all of the things, try to be grateful for the things that he's already given you. But that doesn't mean you can't go to him while you're crying on your knees and ask for help. It just means I know for me, it helps me readjust my mind a little bit before I'm oh God, I still don't have a job, what are you doing, can you please help me? I think I try to make myself think like, okay, but you should be grateful. You're in an amazing apartment. Your family's being so supportive of you. You have awesome friends. Like, you have lungs to breathe and food to eat and eyes to see out of. And for me, that helps me. But I also have been in such tough situations, especially this year. I've gone through such a growing season. There have been so many times where I was going through my spiritual winter and I was on my knees sobbing and I'm okay. I just want to put that out there. I'm fine. I'm okay. But like, you go through hard seasons. Like, no matter what it is, I'm an emotional person and I just cry sometimes. And I was going through different hard things, or my anxiety was high, or I was graduating and it was just so much. And I could get on my knees and I could say, God, help me. Like, please come to me. Like, please heal me. Give me peace. Please help me see you. Help me. Please give me your eyes and stuff like that. And it's not like he's sitting up there being like, well, you haven't thanked me for waking you up this morning, for giving you food, for your education, so I don't think I'm really going to talk to you until you start thanking me. No, that's not God. That's literally not who God is. God loves you. So anyway, the first point I wanted to get across with all of that was just prayer is communication. You are talking to the God of the universe. And it doesn't have to be some perfectly scripted, like, it even got to the point a lot of times, and I know a lot of people do this, and I still catch myself doing this sometimes, where I'll be praying, or I'll be even thinking in my head praying, and I'll be like, God, I really need this or something, and then I'll be like, wait, no, I can't say the word need, I have to say something better, or like, God, like, I love you, no, that's not good enough, I need to say something better. Like, I'll literally try to make my speech better when I'm praying. Like, I'll try to use better words or better vocabulary or like more impressive sentences, as if God can't already read my thoughts and know exactly what I'm thinking, exactly what my heart wants. And I feel like sometimes he just chuckles at like how much we think he is like us, where we have to impress one another. We feel like we have to impress other humans, and we want to be looked at as the best or anything like that, and how we feel like we have to do that to God or else he won't love us. That's not how he is. That's not what grace is. That's not what mercy is. He wouldn't have died on the cross for you if you had to be a specific, certain, special something. Because you weren't, and you weren't. And like, I mean, you are special, please don't get me wrong, but like, you don't have to meet a quota for God to love you. I realized that praying in my mind while I was laying in my bed about to fall asleep wasn't good for me. I fall asleep so fast, or my mind will get sidetracked. I'll be like, wow, thank you, God, for this amazing apartment, and then the next thing I know, I'm thinking about things on IKEA that I can buy for my apartment, and then thinking about, oh my gosh, I don't have a job to buy things for it just goes down a rabbit hole, and then I'm like, oh no, I'm supposed to be praying, and then I feel bad. So instead, what I do is I really like to definitely pray before I go to bed, and so I keep a prayer journal, and this is like my newest one because I had one that I filled all the way up, and I was going to grab it, but it's at the top of my closet and I don't want to. But it's so amazing to keep a prayer journal. And yeah, this is just like a normal notebook. I just like the stars and stuff. But yeah, and I just kind of write in that. But you can write whatever you want in this. I kind of treat it like I'm writing a letter to God. Or like a journal kind of entry diary to God, if that makes sense. And I just talk to him. Like, I just say, like, I usually start out by, Lord, like, today either has been a day, or this has been such an amazing day, or something. I just talk to him like I'm catching him up, even though he already knows. But I just want to talk to him. And, in there, I just write whatever I want. I have had prayers where I'm like so happy, and I'm just like writing, and all is good, and I can, no stress. And then there have been prayers where I'm literally crying on the page, and you can tell in like my penmanship that like it's just like scribbles, because it's a lot. Like, I'm handling a lot. I just love having that, being able to look back at my prayer journal and see the ways God has answered my prayers, like sometimes in ways I thought he would, and sometimes in ways that I never would have expected, but was for the the best, like for sure. Also love being able to like physically see like that you are writing to God. It's something about it like solidifies it for me. Something about it just makes it so real to me that I am talking to the God of the universe when I write it down and I'm like, hey God, like it's Stas, like me again. It's just so nice for me and it keeps me awake. It's something for me to do. I also love writing in cursive. That might be lame, but so I really like being able to write in cursive. And I don't know if you saw when I was flipping through that, but I love writing in purple and pink pens. So that's a little tip. It's kind of dumb, but if you don't like writing as much or you kind of get bored, try to get like some fun colored pens and switch it up. Like as dumb as that sounds, it makes a difference. And something else I like to do a lot of times is if I am praying for something specific, sorry. I'm praying for something specific, like if somebody is sick or if, I don't know, just like a big thing that I'm including in kind of all my prayers. And I want to make sure I keep myself accountable to like, be like, don't forget to pray for this. This is important. I will like pin them up. So in my old apartment, I haven't done it in this new apartment, but in my old apartment, I had so many prayers pinned up about something and like literally probably 60 prayers, like just pages, 60 pages of prayers, just like put up there. Like I just would pin the new one up every day. And then when I would see it, it would kind of like trigger something in me to be like, wow, like all that prayer, like I know God's doing something with that. And it would make me want to pray more. It would make me want to do it again because I'd be like, yeah, no, like God is working. God is working. He hears me. He sees that. There is no way he sees that and doesn't want to help me, be with me, do his best plan for his glory through this. And so that's a great tip, in my opinion, is to start pinning your prayers somewhere. Another tip I have is making kind of like a prayer like corner or something like that. For me, I use my closet a lot. I used my closet in my last apartment too, like a lot. And especially when I was going through a really hard season, I would literally separate my clothes in my closet, and I had this tiny little wall in my I have a walk-in closet, by the way, that's why I can like sit in it. And I would have like prayers posted on the wall or like Bible verses and stuff, and I'd have a little journal there and I'd have like my Bible there, and I would just sit there I tried to do like an hour every day, and which don't let that scare you. I was just going through a really hard time, so I needed like an hour. And I would just sing worship songs and I would just pray. And it rejuvenated my soul so much, and it really makes a difference. Like, people can tell a difference in you when you are praying. Like, you just give something off. It's just like joy that you can't even see yourself. Like, people would literally be like, you're glowing, and like, I don't know why. Like, you just seem like you're glowing, and I truly think that's why. Imagine him just waiting all day to hear from you because he's so excited to talk to you because he loves you that much. Just imagine that, and imagine like you just saying like, I'm too tired to talk to you. It's a relationship. Like, think about it as a relationship. If you are in a relationship, like if you have a boyfriend or something, like communication is key. That's what everybody says. It's the same with God. Wow, what a coincidence. Like, it literally is. The last and I think the most important thing in my prayer life is once I write down a prayer, that's why I love prayer journals so much, I write it down, and if I'm tearing it out and putting it on my wall or something, that's what I'll do. But if I'm just leaving in my journal, I'll do this too, and I'll just open it up, get on my knees, kind of hold it. This might sound cheesy, but I don't care. Kind of hold the journal up or the prayer piece of paper up to like God, I guess. And I will just say, God, this is yours. I surrender it. Please take away any anxiety I have with this. I surrender this to you. You have this now. And I'm going to let you do with it what you see fit. And I will just give it to him in that way and either put it on my wall or close my journal. And then it's done. It is not mine anymore. It is God's. I prayed, I gave it to him, and now I have to let him work in whatever way is most glorifying to him and to the kingdom. And he knows what's best for your life. He knows what's best for my life. That has helped me so much with my anxiety and helped me so much with my prayer life, is just being like, God, I give this to you and I'm going to bed. Like, it's such a relief, honestly. Oh, I meant to mention this too. Another thing I do with praying is I would do it a lot in the car. So instead of turning on the radio, I would just talk to God, like on my way to school or something. Or, this is a really good tip if you're trying to get into it a little bit more, when it's on the radio, when you're on the radio and a song you don't like comes on, instead of like trying to switch all the channels to find one you like, turn it off for a second and pray. You know, you don't like the song anyway. Just talk to God. There have been times where I've literally been like pulling out of my driveway and been like, I'm back. Like, hey, like just driving and talking to God. And it makes a huge difference. It literally, it's too little to say it transformed my life. It really does though. It does transform your life. Just praying. So just try it. Please leave a comment below if you liked this, or if there are other videos you want me to do. Like I said, this one was requested literally today when I'm filming this, and I was like, sure, I'll do it right now. So request videos, and I will most likely do them. And I will see you guys next time. Love you. Bye.